Support for the Leadoff on WGLT and WGLT.org comes from the Central Illinois Regional Airport, connecting Central Illinois to the world with daily flights on American Airlines to hubs in Dallas and Chicago. Close, convenient, CIRA. More at CIRA.com.
You're listening to a special Fun Drive edition of The Leadoff. Good morning, I'm Ryan Dana. Electronics permeate the world. They are in nearly everything that we use. In this third part of our week-long series about local manufacturing, made in Bloomington Normal, we visit a company that serves both farms and the armed forces with made-to-order circuit boards. WGLT's Charlie Schlenker reports.
1 foot on here, 1 foot on here.
To get onto the clean, airy, and well-lit production floor of the Zentech facility, you have to put heel straps on your shoes to eliminate electrostatic discharge. They don't want to zap the electronics produced in the 95,000 square foot section of the old IRS document distribution warehouse. The paint on the floor has an additive that prevents static from building up, and you have to wear a smock that bleeds off any charge your clothes create by rubbing together. Production manager Christy Shook points out that people also have to plug into the desks.
You'll notice those two slots up there, one's black and one's yellow. This is for a wrist strap that attaches to the smock.
It seems a little over the top. After all, Zentech tests everything before it leaves the plant. But marketing director Stephanie Austin says damage from static might not turn up right away.
A latent defect. In our environments that are all mission critical, that's super important.
They are a build-to-print firm, which means the customer has a drawing from which Zentech builds the circuit board assemblies. The boards can have everything from 10 parts to 2,000. A lot of what Zentech produces is for the military aerospace sector. Account manager Todd Jaglinski is reticent about precise products, but of the top 30 defense contractors, he says Zentech does work for 26 of them. And marketing director Stephanie Austin says the technology changes over time.
You'd have a lot of on-land equipment in Afghanistan, but now we've pulled out of Afghanistan, so then it'll be different types of drone technology that we're now working on.
Zentech also produces circuit boards for other industries. Todd Jaglinski says agricultural grain dryers, for instance.
When you're driving around central Illinois and you see the big grain silos and they have the yellow oval on top of that, so we support that customer.
The production area is set up in a U shape. Jaglinski says initial printing is with a long machine that robotically inserts parts for a given board design. A bare board goes underneath a stencil.
There'll be solder paste on the top of the stencil. It'll squeegee the solder paste through the apertures on the stencil onto the board. So that's basically putting the solder paste, which is the glue that holds the components on after solder reflow.
We passed several long multi-stage machines for what's called surface mount technology. Christy Shook says workers load components into those machines, which are programmed to place them on the printed circuit cards.
There are suction cups that pick and place all the components and place them down on a board. So it's screen printed with solder paste. By the time it comes out to the end, they recheck the components to make sure everything is good, and then it goes through a convection oven.
Occasionally, something will need more direct heat than the oven can give. Those components go to hand soldering. Soldering is an art. To get the tiny amounts of metal where they need to be without spoiling things takes precision and maybe some creativity. Logan Bartle was hand soldering for a hobby and liked it.
I'm really into retro games and arcade hardware and equipment, so I got a few things and they ended up being broken. No clue how to fix them at all. So I ended up buying a cheap $30 Amazon iron and just kind of learned from trial and error.
Bartle says there's always something new and a creative new way to approach it. For instance, Bartle says recently a whole circuit trace lifted off a board.
Very, very careful. You have to take an X-Acto and just break off whatever is lifted, and then you have to glue it down by hand. And you're talking something that's probably the size of a grain of rice.
Logan Bartle is not the only hand solderer. Brian Wade actually has a title, fastest solderer in the world. Yes, there's a competition for that. You can hear more of this story later today on Sound Ideas. We have more on our series Made in Bloomington Normal at WGLT.org. I'm Charlie Schlenker.
Our series Made in Bloomington Normal continues tomorrow with a visit to a firm that uses fungus and gene editing technology. Symbio Bioculinary is a startup biotech company in Bloomington on the cutting edge of food production.